from ScreenJunkies Studios in the heart of Los Angeles, this is ScreenJunkies Movie Fights. Now your host, Andy Signore.
Greetings, Screen Junkies. Welcome to Movie Fights. It's our last episode for 1999.
Yeah! Man, what a good year 1999 was for movies.
I
What
know.
a blast.
Watch
It's been
out.
great.
Here comes the year 2000 if Y2K
If
doesn't
we can
get
make
us
it through it,
first.
I know, right?
But 99, as you said, a great year for movies. We got a new Star Wars movie. The first one since 1983. Oh, come on, guys. Pretty
I don't
exciting.
I really liked it when I saw it.
Yeah,
When you saw it just recently,
yeah.
right?
These past few months, it's kind of.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
went back and...
But we have two more coming, so it should be fine.
Yeah, it should all work out. Toy Story 2 exceeded the original film at the box office.
I thought it was better.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson brought out Magnolia.
I haven't seen that.
Great.
Being John Malkovich.
Being
Tom
Malkovich.
Cruise is
Fight
mind-blowing.
Club.
Fight Club was great.
That was great.
And production
Lake
on
Placid.
one of Lake Placid, American Beauty. Plus,
I'm still debating if I'm going to see Bicentennial Man this weekend or Anne and the King.
Brad Bird, Iron Giant, and Bicentennial Man, or no, Chris Columbus actually.
Yeah,
The
Chris
Home
Columbus.
Alone guy, yeah.
It's Robin Williams. I mean, I think it might be kind of good.
Yeah.
Anne and the King, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jodie Foster, she's all right.
And also, production has started on a series called Lord of the Rings.
Fantasy doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's never
Yeah.
worked. I don't know.
Just start with The
I don't know.
Hobbit, then move on from there. Like, how are you going to cut out the first chapter?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird.
I'm not
first
sure,
one chapter.
but I do have some kind of feeling we might be debating this with a star in the future.
Yeah, I don't know.
What, the
I'm
kid
not
kid
sure.
from North? Yeah, sure.
So we have a lot of great fights coming up on the show. These are low prep fights. These guys have not had much time at all to prepare, so
I'm only 14.
hold on to your...
I'm 16.
I'm
my.
18. I'm 18 and do not date that guy, Alicia, trust me.
I'm 20. Yeah, I'm 20 years old today.
But you can also follow the audio version of this show.
what's going on. I don't
They have a clue.
You can follow the audio version of this show on a futuristic device called iTunes. It's
Never
going to
heard
be
of
the
it.
next big thing. You can rate and review there as well. We want to get
Wow.
your thoughts. But first up,
What are we filming on what?
who
are we talking
No one.
This seems
don't
way
know.
far ahead of the year 1999, but let's
Public
pretend like
access?
we're still in the year
Yeah.
1999.
Yeah, and let's pop some bottles because
Yes!
it's New Year's Eve going
Before
down.
the computers shut us all down with Y2K.
And I will introduce our fighters for today. First up, he sees dead people. It's Dan Murrell.
Cheer, fill this up.
Next
do.
up, he's been inside the portal to John Malkovich's mind, ended up on the New Jersey Turnpike. Specer Gilbert.
I'm excited to graduate high school and bleach my tips.
You have a bright future ahead of you, and he knows both the rules to Fight Club. Andy Signore.
It's true. It's been my first year of college. It hasn't been that bad. And I'm having fun, guys.
Now, over on the couch, we have something really exciting. We have a link to the future. And Mr. Ken Napzok is in the future. Ken, come in. Can you hear us?
Yeah,
What is that thing you're holding?
yeah,
Is
I
that Star
Are those
Wars?
Is that
lightsabers?
Han Solo?
I am from the year 2018, where I'm the president of Screen Junkie Plus Studios, and I went out for a beer with Nick Mundy, and we fell into some kind of time warp.
Wow.
And now I'm here with you guys. Okay,
Well,
I'm game. I'm going to fact check to make sure all
Wow.
your facts
Ken,
stay
we're in the year
time.
1999.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
Whoa.
Can do the
Right.
Chemical Brothers hold up?
Yes, their greatest hits album is amazing. And Limp Bizkit's tour.
Oh, I knew Limp
didn't
Bizkit would
miss
be
it.
big.
All right, well, let's get into it. As you guys know, it is not about the movies you choose. It's about your argument, your creativity, and your passion. And to kick things off, let's have a montage of some movies that may not have been released just yet.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Who's that?
Mel Gibson's great.
Ooh.
weird.
All right. So this year, the Wachowski siblings, they're screenwriters.
They're brothers.
What do you mean?
Yeah, they're brothers.
Yeah.
They're screenwriters whose
Credited as the brothers. Yeah.
only previous movie was the lesbian crime thriller Bound.
Yeah.
Blew us away this year with their mind-bending sci-fi hit The Matrix. Now, obviously, the film ends on this awesome note that kind of teases there might be a sequel, maybe more.
Dare I say it? I might get a lot of flack for this, but I think I was better than Star Wars.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Phantom Menace.
Menace?
Yeah.
Oh, way better.
Way
Yeah.
better.
All right,
Yeah.
so round one is pitch a sequel to the Matrix. And Spencer, you are up first.
Okay.
Just throw it in there.
Well, I'm just gonna pick up right where the Matrix 1 left off. This is Matrix 2: Rage Against the Machine. Obviously, we know who the soundtrack is by, Zach De La Rocha and the Ragers. And so Neo has broken the Matrix at the end. They saw that like system error. And as they mentioned, they've rebooted the Matrix before, so they rebooted again. But it's like a more complicated like game Matrix where everything's like a game that Neo has to beat. Of course, this is a crossover of my other favorite movie of '99, Existence by David Cronenberg. So Neo has to complete all these challenges that the robots throw at him.
That's my favorite movie.
So it's like Quake.
Yeah, it's like Quake. It's basically, I love Quake. Quake 2, I'm so excited for it. Yeah, so Neo, it's a crossover that extends. Neo they've rebooted it to be, it's all these challenges that are testing Neo's abilities, and he's having to use his flight. And he's having to fight these monsters that the machines have created. They've alluded to, the machines being able to be vampires and older, like horror movie things. So he's fighting those to free people and liberate them and break this game. And he's staying in the Matrix. The most boring parts of the Matrix were in that ship, and I don't want to go back to that ship. I want to stay in there and watch Neo fly around, make a gun out of fish bones, just like David Cronenberg in Existence.
All right, Existence, Matrix, love it. All right, Dan, you're next.
Well, mine is not just a sequel, it's part of 2 sequels. Because what's better than 1 Matrix sequel? 2 Matrix sequels. It's going to make it a trilogy, baby. So, Neo, Morpheus, and Trinity are still fighting to free humanity from the Matrix. And in response, kind of like yours, the machines reprogram the Matrix, but they program it so that everybody is their enemy. So basically, they're fighting off humanity, but they don't want to kill them because if you kill them, then you're killing the people that you're trying to free.
It's like that Jet Li movie, The One.
Yeah, it's exactly like that Jet Li movie, The One.
I don't know, maybe it announced, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I read on the web that there was a movie about that.
On AOL?
Yeah, on AOL. Someone IM'd me the other day. Anyway, so while Trinity and Neo fight the forces inside the Matrix, Morpheus decides that the only way to defeat the Matrix is to destroy the core of the Matrix, which is hidden somewhere in the real world underground. So while Neo and Trinity are doing badass fight scenes, which we got a lot of in the first ones, and I'm sure there's no way they could screw it up in a sequel, so more big badass fight scenes. And then Morpheus is on the search for the core of the Matrix, and he finds it, but it's under Zion. And that's the twist, is that the machines let the humanity settle on top of the Matrix's core because they knew that to destroy it, you would have to destroy Zion. So the second movie ends on a cliffhanger where Morpheus makes the decision to destroy the core of the Matrix and Zion. Where does humanity go? Did Neo and Trinity survive? We'll find out in The Matrix 3.
Oh, good. Okay, Andy.
See, now the best part of the Matrix, I agree, was like when he was in there learning his powers, and I want to see more of that. So what I want to do is I want to see him breaking more people out of the Matrix in their everyday lives. Bigger, better. Now we have this guy who can really do anything. Let's see him show it off and get other people who are like, what are you talking about? Giving the pills to more people. Building sort of an army, which I feel like they need to do. So I'm picturing like a darker, slicker, like heist movie where they're basically like breaking into people's dreams and to break them into reality. So you have this like really cool, like slick, futuristic thing where they're like, getting people out. So anything's possible in this world because it's basically like a dream world, right?
Yeah.
And like, but these guys can go in and know, like, wake you up from that dream and like know and get you in there and like break you out. So I just feel like there's this fun thriller. Now, so you have this fun action sort of heist movie that I think you can really do well. But then we learn that machines can also dream. They're so advanced that they can also dream. So once they get their army, they're going to break into the Matrix and into the machines' dreams and see what their Matrix is like. And so you have to break into there, and we have this amazing. It's just, I want to see it.
Wow, that sounds incredible. All right,
I have some problems
open
with both your
forum.
guys' ones. Like,
Go
you're
for
talking
it.
about breaking people out of the Matrix. That's the last place I want to be, is out of the Matrix. And yours, half the movie's with Morpheus in a cave.
No, not half. It's not half.
Okay,
it's
a B story is Morpheus, is Lawrence Fishburne.
It's not going to be just a bunch of people standing
Cowboy
around
Curtis
in a cave.
crawling
That would
through
be
a
terrible.
cave.
Cowboy Curtis, he was great in the Matrix. What are you
Yeah,
talking
he was
about?
great in the Matrix.
Yeah, he was great, but it's still, he was great in the Matrix, exactly. He's going to be in a cave looking for Zion.
No,
That
he's
sounds
flying
boring.
the ship around. He's flying the ship around looking for the core.
Yeah, I'm with him. I don't want to be. I feel like I'm still in the Matrix in mine because what I liked about it is with yours, you're saying the game stuff. I don't know. It just sounds like who is he? How do you need to have other people who don't believe it in the Matrix and seeing that crazy stuff happen. Because to me, that's the best part. Like, I want to go see him like on a
got the
highway,
people from-
and they got to get the guy like on a highway. Like, let's see a car chase done in the Matrix, right? Because that would be insane. And you could do that by breaking other people out.
But you've got the people from Existence, the game players, Jennifer Jason Leigh, I believe, and her character, and Jude Law from Existence. They're also in it. So
I didn't like that movie actually. Much as you said, so I don't know why you keep putting so much weight into that movie.
I didn't see
I don't think it'll hold up.
It didn't make it to Arkansas, and I'm only 16. I never
You guys
saw
are
it.
really missing out.
All right, we'll do a quick little roundup of why your idea is the best. Go, Dan.
Well, I have a problem with both of you. Yours, it sounds like an interesting concept, but when you break it down logically, I think I don't know quite how that works, breaking into dreams. It sounds like something that people would enjoy based on the concept of it, but when you sit down and think about it, it might not exactly make sense. Plus, mine adds to the story. It builds on the first Matrix movie. Yours is a video game movie, and it's kind of like comic book movies. I just don't think that they're cinematic and they can work. I mean, how many good comic book movies have there been? Not many, and it's because they're not cinematically able to be filmed. I don't want to see a video game movie. I want to actually build on this world that they made in the Matrix and one up it a little bit.
I mean, you say video game movie, but they've done one up. They've one up the video game movie. I want to see more bullet time. I want to see more like that Gap Khaki ad. I just want to see more cool camera tricks. They're just taking kung fu movies to the next level. Stop taking it so seriously with these philosophical wanking things of dreaming machines and Zion and
He's
stuff
got
like that.
dreaming machines.
I know. Let's just have a cool, like, futuristic martial arts movie with David Cronenberg.
Yeah, I don't know. I think yours is the video game movie. If like Super Mario Brothers taught us anything, it's like video games don't really work. I'm worried, and I agree. Yours is too much on the Zion thing. Mine is more about staying and doing what we did so well and with Matrix, but having someone who can actually pull out the strings. Like, I think you can go bigger and better. Plus, I think that you can have this opportunity to reveal, to keep it all in the Matrix. What if the Matrix is actually in Zion too? Like, what if it's a Matrix in a Matrix? And so then they got to break into that to like figure out how to get the guy who's in there to get him out. I just think we have so much we can
Because that's
see.
the one thing I came out of the Matrix saying. I wish it was more complicated.
All right. Ding. I'm calling it. I'm going to patch over to the future. Ken, any fact checks there?
Well, first of all, I love, Spencer, your choice of Rage Against the Machine. I loved throwing mud at them at the anniversary Woodstock concert this summer.
99,
It was
man.
great,
What a
man.
year.
Their Battle Los
Better than
Angeles,
94.
man. That's going to be a great album. On the way to double platinum. The one was, in fact, 2001 release, but as part of the promotion for the movie, there's an official World Wide Web-based information page you can go to that is the fictional multiverse authority for the movie.
We knew that was coming out.
Yeah.
How was it? Was it any good?
It was passable. Jason Statham is a star.
Okay.
But other than that, you guys were really clean.
Did they make any
nice.
Matrix sequels ever, Ken?
I'm going to let you guys figure that out.
Okay. I hope they're good.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So,
Hard to mess up.
Spencer, I do agree with your Existence. I really enjoyed that movie. I love that one. Andy, your idea is really interesting, but it made my head hurt, and I can't see how it's going to work logically. So, and the fact that it builds on the first Matrix movies and it makes the most sense, I'm giving the point to Dan.
Fair enough.
Dan wins.
See the good director. I want to see that guy who did Memento. He might be good at it.
Oh.
Well, if you
Yeah,
said
what's his
that,
name
then
again?
maybe-
He's a gimmick.
You mean that movie that's barely making the festival circuits right now? I think.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
No, I saw an early copy on
you go to
VHS.
Sundance?
Oh, yeah,
I saw an
that's
early
right.
copy. You guys will love it. He's a type of director. He did that movie Pie.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
that was
No, it was not.
I'm so
right.
annoyed
Following.
already.
He did that movie Following.
Let's move
obnoxious.
on to round 2.
Worst episode ever.
So, it wasn't long ago.
Guys, we needed a break.
It wasn't long ago when Will Smith could do no wrong. He had a string of hits, including Bad Boys and Independence Day, Men in Black. But this year, he had a big misstep with the disastrous Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild
So-
West.
Great
Gonna
song,
take
though.
you to the Wild
West,
Wild West.
Jim West, Desperado, Rough
So
Rider.
which
Don't want none.
wow.
Keep going. None of this mother.
Wow, which project should he tackle in the new millennium to restore his box office supremacy? So round 2 is, how do we get Will Smith back on track? And I'm going to start with you, Dan.
3 words. Independence Day 2. Will Smith owns the summer. He had a misstep here. What better way to get his career back on track than to revisit the movie that made him a star in the first place? Get Independence Day 2 back on track. We've been waiting for it. He needs to be in it. Honestly, I don't know how a sequel to that movie would work without him. He's the heart and soul of it. Get him back. He owns the summer. Get him back on July 4th. America.
All right. Andy, next.
I just think that's too soon. I mean, we need some time to like learn the weaponry and maybe turn it around and have something that we can go against that threat. So I think it's too soon. Where I'm going is a little bit more fun. I mean, he's proven he's fun. We all love the clumps, right? I mean, Nutty Professor 1 was great, right?
It was. I like Nutty Professor a lot.
Part 2.
Yeah.
I know part 2 is coming out. So I thought, what if we...
Oh dear.
What if we meet Will Smith's family, the Dumps?
The Dumps. This is going off the rails.
So he plays all of them?
No. All right.
Do you want me to go? So we don't, I think we don't need to hear anymore.
All right, Spencer. Save us, please.
All right. So, Will Smith, you know, he took a bump. He's at the risk of becoming irrelevant. So let's pair him up with the most relevant director right now, M. Night Shyamalan. He's coming hot off of The Sixth Sense.
Yep.
He's a craftsman. This guy knows tight plotting, tight action, and like he can get an actor. He can get a really cool, steely performance out of an actor, which is something different for Will Smith. You know, he's always playing so big. He could maybe try something more focused and intense. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking like a sci-fi movie, like an M. Night Shyamalan, Will Smith sci-fi movie, like out in space. You know, Will Smith just had a kid who's totally normal, and he's 1 year old right now, so he could maybe lose that kid on a planet.
Oh, I thought we were being serious.
And then have to go
Are we
find him on a
serious
future.
Here?
Yeah,
that sounds terrible. I don't want
his toddler.
Kid.
We just pitched the
We don't
Dumps.
want.
His own kid?
But wait, hear me
I'm
out.
checking my notes. Jaden Smith.
No. We don't need more of that in Hollywood. What we need is I want to see Will Smith bring the comedy back because that's what he's so good at. And it's like, what if he had his own family, right? So we meet the Dumps, and they go up against the Clumps.
Dumps versus Clumps?
Dumps versus Clumps because Nutty Professor 2 is going to be very funny. And that's what I want to see.
But tell me some of the characters. Does he play the grandmother?
Charles Dump.
Yeah.
We have like the uncle is also a mailman.
Also a mailman.
He can't even take his own idea seriously. I am laughing. It sounds funny.
Oh,
But we
God.
already have the
But
clumps. We can have the
Eddie
Dumps.
Murphy, it saved Eddie Murphy's career. He'd played so many characters, and I know I mean, come on, Fresh Prince. Will Smith has it in him. He's a comedy star, and he learned how to make. And I think he needs to do something funny. He's now trying to do the action comedy over and over again.
He tried
it's
Wild Wild West.
It didn't
It wasn't
work.
good.
It didn't work. It didn't work. We saw it. I don't want him to fall down this trope of doing just action comedies. I want to see him go back to his roots because Fresh Prince. Let's not forget, Will Smith was a fantastic comedy actor in that show, and here's a chance for him to show some range. And he can totally do like an Eddie Murphy. And we have a competing family. Eddie Murphy's so great, and when he does those characters, to see Will
But what are they competing against?
Oh, I'm sure I mean, it's going to be more of a family movie. I'm sure there's some July 4th barbecue, and they got to see who's better. They're the neighbors, whatever they are. It's going to be a fun versus because Nutty
like an
Professor
Independence
was
Day.
all about a funny. It's a straight comedy, and it's them, the family versus the other family, and that's what I would see. Independence Day's too soon. I don't want to see that
it's
right
not.
away.
No.
It's totally too soon.
The window's closing. If they wait much longer, it's gonna really be too late, and then you're like, really? That's like they're like 20
I
years
disagree.
older. It's
I want to
completely
see him.
different.
I want to see him older, learning the technology. And I agree, Will Smith's got to be in it.
He definitely has to be in it.
We need him to step away from that genre.
The July 4th barbecue I want to see is Will Smith barbecuing aliens in Independence Day 2, not the Dumps.
We need
The Dumps.
some moments in between and years. I mean, come on. We don't know if this kid can act. Like, I don't want more nepotism in Hollywood.
He's just like going to find the baby. This is a Will Smith vehicle. Will Smith is the star of the movie. ID4 is an ensemble. That's going to be him and
that's Will
Goldblum
Smith's
and
movie.
I want to
Pullman.
see more of M. Night Shyamalan, but I don't know if I trust him with such a big, like sci-fi fantasy right now. Like, I want to see him tell more of those stories and see where we go with it because I
No,
think
we need George
you're
Lucas.
going too big too soon, and you're going too soon.
We need
on
to
such a
give
big
the
franchise.
We need to give the
It was
kids a
only
shot.
3 years ago,
Look
Dan.
at the Wachowskis, and then look at George Lucas. Like we need to give these kids money and see what they can do.
All right.
The Dumps.
The Dumps versus the Clumps.
Okay, Future Ken, any and I might call for your help on this one.
Sure. Wow. In the future, the success of movies will be based on what random strangers' votes are on the internet. And The Nutty
What?
Professor 2 was made, Andy.
No, I know. I don't. It's in production. I'm
Right.
doing the sequel right now.
Okay, well, it eventually gets made.
It does get made. I know. It's
currently-
in the works, right?
Currently sits at 26% rating.
Oh, did they have Will Smith in it?
No, they
There
will.
you go.
They went
Solved
with
the
Eddie
problem.
Murphy. Other than that, a clean round, just not morally.
All right, which would you choose, Ken, if you could see one of these movies? Who would you go for?
In 1999.
1999.
I would love to see Independence Day 2. I'd like to see what happens. Maybe Randy Quaid can come back, and maybe he didn't
dead.
die. Maybe he didn't die.
See,
I am looking forward to what he's doing in your current time though, Ken.
I'll tell you, he's great. He's one of our leaders.
All right, well, I mean, I do like the idea of a comedy with Will Smith because he does have that comedy chops, and I would love to see him get a little silly, do something a little crazy. M. Night Shyamalan sci-fi, that's a cool idea, but I agree that it's maybe a bit too soon for Shyamalan. Maybe he should get a few more films out before we decide that he's the next Spielberg. And so I'm going again with Dan. Independence Day 2 because I love that character.
Answers here. I see how it's working. All right.
May not always be the case.
Safe.
Let's see what happens.
I was trying to do some range there for him.
All right, let's go to round 3.
Which one's round 3?
So, Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Because Mike Judge came out of nowhere this year.
I mean, this show's not going anywhere, right?
The low-budget workplace comedy Office Space. And it's just starting to find an audience now on home video. If it becomes big enough to earn Judge a second chance to make more films, he should obviously do a live-action version of Beavis and Butthead, the MTV cartoon. So we want to know who you would cast as Highland High's 2 worst students. Round 3, fan cast a Beavis and Butthead live-action movie. Andy, you're up.
Look, I'm picking 2 comedy stars right now. First up, Will Ferrell. He's proved in Night at the Roxbury and Superstar, and even in his cameo in Austin Powers 2, like he's got serious comedy chops. I think he's a standout now in SNL, and is going to clearly become one of their best. And in his movies, working. I thought he was one of the best parts of Austin Powers 2. He just is really good at playing an idiot in his sketches. I see him as a fantastic butthead.
Will Ferrell in Austin Powers 2?
Yeah,
he was.
He was
throw him off the cliff.
Mufasa.
yeah.
It was just this summer, Spencer.
Yeah, didn't you? Come on, he's like, hey, he's yelling from the cliff, remember?
Yeah.
And so hot off, and I'm picking someone else who's really, I think, going to be really popular right now, Rob Schneider, who's coming off of Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo, which I think was a surprise to everyone, how funny it was. But he also just came off a really good run of a show, Men Behaving Badly on CBS. I've always liked him on Saturday Night Live. He's a good talent. I liked him in Judge Dredd. I think he can play like the Beavis version next to Will Ferrell's idiot of Butthead, and I think I want to see them color their hair properly, put them in the role, and I want to see them be idiots together in a movie.
Alrighty, Dan?
3 words. Sean William Scott as Beavis. How good was he in American Pie?
That kid's going to be everywhere.
He's going to be everywhere. How great was he in American Pie? And as Butthead, there's this TV show on Fox called That 70s Show. There's this kid, Topher Grace, on the show. I think he would be a good Butthead. They're young. They're around the right age. They have good comic sensibilities, and I think they'd be a fun duo together on screen.
All right, Spencer.
All right, it's a live-action Beavis and Butthead, so I'm picking the live-action Beavis and Butthead, Matt Stone and Trey Parker. These guys have been doing South Park. They're doing Beavis and Butthead better than Beavis and Butthead ever did it. They've shown the inclination. I don't think they've picked the right projects yet to put their faces in front of the camera, but this is who they are at their core. They're Beavis and Butthead. They're these giggling morons who you can't help but love. As they've shown with South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, my favorite movie of 1999, that they really can bring some intelligence behind the dumb humor, and I'm casting Janine Garofalo as Daria alongside them.
All right, and which one's Beavis, which one's Butthead?
Oh, the blonde one's the Beavis.
You don't even know their names.
Trey's, I think. Yeah, it's Trey.
Wow,
Trey
shows
is
how bad your
Beavis,
choice
Matt
is.
Stone is Butthead.
All right, open
Look,
forum, go.
they're way too smart for this. Beavis and Butthead's smart in its own different way, but they're idiots. I don't want to waste the talents. I want them writing something funny, maybe like a musical.
They'll write it.
Maybe like some
With Mike
musical,
Judge.
religious musical, whatever. I know they like to do that, but I want to see them do smarter, bigger things. I don't think they're right for this. And Topher Grace, I mean, this guy's a nobody. And his role as Eric on Sesame Street, he's like the little guy. Like I don't see him doing the big thing. Like it's like putting him in like a supervillain role or something. Like he's not going to pull it off.
It's a live action
And
thing.
Sean William Scott, he's one note. He's gonna. I do think I haven't seen him do anything else. I think he's gonna be Stifler for the rest of his life, and I don't buy it. I think Will Ferrell, Rob Schneider have some serious comedy chops. They're showing the range currently in their movies and on TV, and they're the ones to watch. They're gonna make this the best.
I mean, listen, if you're casting Beavis and Butthead's parents or older brothers or dad's friends or something, they're both too old. Beavis and Butthead are in high school. Those guys are what, in like their 40s?
They have old face. They look like old men.
They look like old men.
No, they're 30s.
They look old.
But Beavis and Butthead, they're creepy. They look like old guys dressed up like teenagers.
And,
I mean, that's always been the case. And then Sean William Scott's going to be so overexposed. He's getting everything these days. He's going to be in a million
You
movies.
believe
Well,
that?
he's hilarious. He was the funniest guy in American Pie.
You think he can do something beyond just the jockey Stifler guy?
Yeah, I think so.
that role is so. Like, I mean, it's him and the pie effer. I mean, they're both gonna have a tough time.
I don't think
breaking that stereotype.
But for you and
think.
Rob Schneider, like, where's the chemistry there? They've never done anything on SNL together that had any resonance. No sketches together. They need chemistry. Matt Stone and Trey Parker are like brothers.
But both of them would come from a show where you have to build that chemistry and that group bonding. Saturday Night Live's all about an ensemble. You can't work. So if they've both come from that school, they're going to know how to do it together, and they're going to have the same sort of education. So I think they're going to pick up immediately and have a great chemistry.
But sounds like a bad SNL movie, like Night at the Roxbury.
Oh, I thought it was actually kind of funny.
Pat. It's going to be another.
Pat was terrible.
Pat.
Night at the Roxbury was not terrible. Superstar.
Superstar was not good.
It was kind of fun. Will Ferrell stood out in that movie.
It was a sketch stretched on way too long. I'm afraid the SNL guys are going to do that again.
Beavis and Butthead is obviously a sketch. They watch music videos.
Beavis and Butthead
it's going to be a stretch
to
no matter
America
what.
is amazing.
But the South
What is
Park.
that?
Here's the problem with the South.
Is that not a thing?
Beavis and Butthead to America. Yeah, it came out in 1996. Came out 3 years ago.
It did?
Yeah. I saw it on my 13th birthday. Here's the problem with the South Park guys. This is an animated live action thing, and they have their own. That's like, you know who I cast as Batman? Superman. Like, it just doesn't make sense. They're the South Park guys. They gave me Beavis and Butthead too. They have their own thing to do.
They're
I'd much
Kyle,
rather
Kenny,
see...
and Cartman. No one knows them yet. Basketball came and went. Like, they need a defining picture like this.
I've seen them. I saw Orgasmo. I saw.
Well, you're
Cannibal.
one of the guy. You're the guy.
But that's my point. They're funny and I like them, but they're not on-screen talent. They're behind-the-scenes talent.
They can do
Enough
voices.
said.
They can do.
All right, final thoughts before I do.
What, are we going to make this movie out of CGI? Like, it would look terrible. We can't make movies of characters out of CGI.
That'd be creepy.
My picks are the only ones that are age appropriate, and they're the best choices for the role. These guys already have their own animated thing going on. It's being distracting, and your choices are too old.
They're not old.
All right, Future Ken, any notes?
Well, at the time that you guys had this conversation, Rob Schneider was 39 and Will Ferrell was 32. Just to clarify
30s,
that.
told you.
And don't forget Will Ferrell's excellent turn this year in the comedy Dick.
Yes.
Underrated turn.
Michelle Williams
Bob
and
Woodward.
Kirsten Dunst.
And good news, guys, South Park still on the air.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I hope it stays on for a little bit.
All right.
Caught me off there. Definitely need
Some
some of
really,
that.
really good choices here. I like the idea of Will and Rob together, even though they are older. Those together are great comedic actors. Sean William Scott, so hot right now.
So hot
Topher
right now.
Grace, I think he has a huge future in front
I
of
think
him.
so, too.
I'm going to go with Matt Stone and Trey Parker with Spencer because I really like them together. And
Yeah.
I can see them being those characters.
I mean, Cartman is Beavis. Like, let's be real.
So Spencer gets the point.
They're also too old for the record.
So 2 to Dan, 1 to Spencer.
All right.
On
Spence.
to round
Oh, nice.
You're always Spence.
Spence. On to round 4. This year saw a lot of exciting new faces, both in front and behind the camera, from the featured debut of music video director Spike Jonze, awesome, to a pair of starring turns for Dawson's Creek star Katie Holmes. We want to know, round 4, who had the biggest breakout year in 1999? And let's go back to Spencer for number 1. Go.
Vern Troyer.
Vern Troyer.
There are other little people actors working in Hollywood. There's you have Warwick Davis, you've got Peter Dinklage, but none of them.
Who's Peter Dinklage?
He's on Tiptoes. Is that Matthew McConaughey movie?
Never heard of it.
I don't know if that's...
The Station Agent. I'm not sure if that's
I think
Never heard of
I
either.
think you're
Anyway.
on some,
Well, there's
you're
a-
on some listserv or something with weird movies on it.
The point is, he outshone Mike Myers in his own movie. This is a little comedic powerhouse, and I can't wait to see what he does next.
All right. Andy?
I got to go with James Vanderbeek. Now, he's coming off of Dawson's Creek in year 2, and that show's, doing great. But usually TV stars, especially heartthrobs, can't move the needle in a movie way. Varsity Blues opens in January. We're still talking about that movie because it really resonated with the audience. And I think it proved he has chops. He showed some drama in there. He played against his character. He played the jock, which he's not in Dawson's Creek. He gave us range. He killed it on Saturday Night Live this year. I don't know if you watched his host where he was making fun of boy bands and all the stuff that he was doing. I think this guy's got some serious range. He's got that X factor, and I'm impressed. And I think the fact that he could own TV and movies shows to me he owned the year. And I'm betting down on this James Vanderbeek fella. I think big things in the future.
Nice. Dan?
3 words. Haley Joel Osment from The Sixth Sense. This kid, you might remember him. Before he was just a kid from Forrest Gump. Man, what a performance! to quote a guy that I don't know yet. What a performance! He's not just a great kid actor; he's a great actor. And at however old he is, 9, 10 years old, the fact that he's already got an Oscar nomination under his belt, he can do any project that he wants right now, and the fact that he can do whatever he wants. That's the thing. Is the breakout is, I think, the person with the brightest future. And I mean, if this kid is smart and he picks his projects correctly, I think we could be talking about him for years because he's already established himself as a great actor.
He's a child actor.
Yeah,
He's got an awkward stage. It's about to hit, and then it's really hard to keep that going.
You don't know that.
Haley Joel
Everyone
Osment
does. Any actor in that range.
Any
I mean,
child
Macaulay
actor.
Culkin went through it after Home Alone 2, and we saw it and paid like it just. There's a.
But
there's a
Haley Joel
point.
Osment is 10 times the actor than Macaulay Culkin is.
Come on, Home Alone is a fantastic performance.
Macaulay
but
Culkin is fantastic. How
You're
dare you?
wrong, but
But he wasn't nominated for an Oscar.
But that's my point. That was a great performance,
Yeah.
but I don't think that was a well-rounded. He blew up the year. He did a good performance, good direction from them, and he had to play scared. I don't.
Who are people
Give me
talking about
another
this
reason
year?
why. I gave you multiple reasons why my guy was bigger as a breakout star. You're just giving me one role he did. That could have been a fluke.
But who knows? It maybe not. But breakout stars. Who's the person that you're talking about this year? What's the one
I'm
line?
not talking about. I'm talking about that twist.
What's the one
Talking
line
about
from
that
a
twist.
movie? What's the
Let's
one
not
line?
twist it,
what's
though.
The, will you let
People
me,
may not have seen it
What's
yet.
the one line from the movie that people are saying in 1999?
And
I see
who
dead
wrote that
people.
line? M. Night Shyamalan. He's the breakout star of the
But
year,
he
sir.
said
Not
it.
Haley
Well,
Joel.
you should have picked him, but you didn't.
I know. I think James Vanderbeek's even better.
Haley Joel Osment is. Everybody knows this kid. It's the movie.
Nobody knows that kid. They're like the kid from Sixth Sense. They don't know his
It's the
name.
movie that everyone's talking about. He's
Who
the
knows
part
his
of that movie
name?
that everyone's
Oh,
talking
come
about.
on. Spencer, did you
he's
remember
got-
his name until Dan said it?
He's the kid from The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
He's got a couple years of relevance in him. Then he's going to hit a growth spurt, and it's going to be bad. I mean, maybe he'll hold
You
on.
don't know
but
that.
Vern Troyer's not going through a growth
Jodie
spurt.
Foster didn't
James
have
I
a
Van
heard Troyer. It was a joke. I mean, he was funny.
He's going to
but
get every dwarf role for 10 years. 10 years running.
That's not a okay. That's why
and
is that a-
Vanderbeek, those heartthrobs are a dime a dozen. He's Freddie
He
Prinze.
showed he's more than a heartthrob.
He's just Freddie
James
Prinze
Dean
Jr.
was a dime a dozen.
But this is such a crowded year for heartthrobs. You have Vanderbeek, you have
He
Freddie
stood
Prinze
above.
Jr.
Freddie Prinze did not show the range that James did.
How
Freddie's
dare
not on a
you.
TV show.
Can't hardly
And
wait.
No, I mean, she's all that.
She's all that.
No, he didn't. Vanderbeek acted circles around him.
The one you mentioned, Vanderbeek, it's Billy Bob's movie. Varsity Blues is Billy Bob Thornton's movie.
It's an ensemble. He definitely works, but he's the lead. James is definitely the lead of that movie.
Billy Bob Thornton was not in Varsity Blues.
No, it's John Voight. You're thinking. You're
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
Who said I want your life?
He did. I don't want your life.
But then who was
And it was
that?
terrible.
Oh,
People
Friday
laugh.
Night Lights. Never mind.
People laugh. What's that? People laugh. People laugh at James Vanderbeek in that movie. I went and saw this on my 16th birthday when I could drive my car to the movie theater, and we were laughing at him. And he's like our age. We're supposed to be into him. Both of yours are a flash in the pan. Vern Troyer, he's an oddity. He's got one
Exactly.
role.
He's unique.
But what is he going to do? He's not going to play mini.
He's going to play the mini version of everything.
No, he's
Anytime
not.
a script
That's
calls for
terrible.
a smaller version of the hero, he's the first call.
Okay, great. So in 15 years, when another script comes up that needs that, call Vern Troyer.
Well, Austin Powers 3, 4, 5, and on to infinity. There's going to be as many Austin Powers as there are James Bond movies. He's going to get a
where the
role every
question
single
is,
year.
who's the breakout
Ryan
star?
Phillippe is better than your guy.
No,
Freddie Prinze
we're
Jr. is
look,
better than your guy.
I'm
There's a
talking to the
bunch of people
judge.
better than your guy.
Breakout year, you got to show me a range, and I think between the TV,
Range?
the film, and on Saturday Night Live, where he played numerous roles from boy band to cat star to dweeby spelling, he shows range. He showed me enough, and that he can go to mediums. He gave me a good performance. Could be a fluke, and your guy is you just even said it. He's going to own little people roles.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
just need to make a big impact. He's the most imitated
Again,
of
I think the
year.
scripts did your more
People
my
are gonna-
guy. They're talking about my guy. They're talking about your movies.
People are going to remember Haley Joel Osment and this movie past this year. He's going to be nominated for an
Yes,
Oscar.
you'll
In my
forever
head,
be
I think
known
I
as the
already had
kid
him
from
nominated.
Sixth
He's
Sense.
going to
Forever
be
is the
nominated
kid
as
from
an Oscar.
Sixth
No,
Sense.
he's got a bright career ahead of him.
Oh, this is funny. Ken, future Ken.
Well,
Anything there?
Speaking of future, Specer Gilbert went into 2003 to talk about Tiptoes with Peter Dinklage and his excellent performance of Maurice. And hey, look, give Freddie Prinze Jr. some credit. His performance in 1996 to Jillian on her 37th birthday was pretty well-rounded, Andy. Come on. And James Vanderbeek, his episode
What's
back in
not?
January 16th of this year was great, but I loved musical guest Everlast.
Yes,
even better.
Everlast.
Oh,
What it's
Everlast.
like.
But
That
otherwise,
was a great episode.
pretty clean round. Good fight, boys.
All
Good
right.
fight.
Can't wait to see which one of these are breakout stars in the future.
Yeah.
I agree that Vern Troyer, very funny, but he's a one role guy. Haley Joel Osment, he is known as the guy from Sixth Sense. He's great in the movie, but I think you were right with M. Night Shyamalan is. So Andy gets the point.
I'm on the board.
James Van Der Beek.
Haley,
We're going to be talking about him a lot. There's no way he's resorting to CBS TV shows.
No, I think
There's
he's going
no
to
chance.
be bigger than Katie Holmes and
Totally.
I'm going to be
Michelle
laughing when
Williams?
Haley Joel Osment has won 2 Oscars in the next
Michelle
20 years.
I mean, come on. Who's going to be? Yeah, exactly. Who's going to be better? Michelle Williams? No. Pacey?
No.
Come on.
Should have picked
No,
Julia
not
Stiles.
Pacey. All right, so that is Dan with 2 points, Spencer with 1, Andy with 1. On to round 5. We got a new Star Wars movie, guys. The first episode in George Lucas's prequel trilogy, and though it has a lot of defenders, maybe it wasn't everything that fans wanted. So if Lucas does step aside and let someone else direct episode 2, we want to know who should be the one to helm it. Round 5, who should direct Star Wars episode 2? So let's go with Spencer.
Well, who did Star Wars better than Star
did I do
Wars
that
this
again?
year?
Sorry.
Who did it better than Star Wars? The Wachowski brothers. So we're going to give them Star Wars. No one has blended philosophical wankery and action better than these two, and that's what George has totally shit the bed with in Phantom Menace. He went way too far into the politics and with nothing to look at. There was no blending of action and story. These guys have blended action and story perfectly, and they're masters with CGI without making it look too fake. They blend real and fake stuff together, so it's seamless. They've got great performances out of wooden actors like Keanu Reeves, so I think they can maybe, Anakin's gonna be a 20-year-old. They can maybe. I don't want to pull Keanu off the Matrix.
Yeah,
but
who was wooden? Natalie Portman. I mean, Ewan McGregor. Liam Neeson. You're saying they're wooden?
I think in the hands of the Wachowskis, they wouldn't be. So I think that they're the obvious choice.
All right, I'm going to go all over the place here because I don't have the order. So Dan, you're next.
Steven Spielberg. I mean, listen. George obviously messed up with the Phantom Menace, but there's still a lot of story to be told, and it has to be told properly, because if you get this story wrong, you're in a lot of trouble, because it's the whole reason that you do this prequel trilogy. So why not bring in his closest collaborator, Steven Spielberg? He's always had the better touch as far as actors go. He's always had a little bit of a better touch as far as filmmaking goes. We're still waiting for Indiana Jones 4. I hope it happens someday. But in the meantime, why not team up with George, who can stay on as a producer, bring Steven in. He can work better with the actors. He can make it a little more cinematic. He can make it a little more, visually interesting. And, maybe grab a young actor like a Ryan Phillippe or a Leo DiCaprio, who we really haven't seen much since Titanic. I'm curious to see if this kid actually has any chops, and give it to a master filmmaker like Steven Spielberg.
All right, Andy.
Look, I'm going to go with somebody I'm betting down hard because I've impressed with his filmography so far. Michael Bay. Armageddon was a fantastic, big, dumb action movie, but I think there was some really big heart and some good stuff in there. And one of my favorite action movies in the 90s, The Rock, not to mention Bad Boys. Like, this guy knows how to make an action movie, tell a story. I just think he needs a better shot. And the rumors are he's going to do a big budget, dramatic Pearl Harbor movie. And I think it's about time we're going to see this guy shine and show that he's not just a big, dumb action guy. And he's shown it. He can do a scale like no other. And I think if we give him a big franchise like that, he's going to bring some amazing action, some amazing fun. And I think that's what this prequel was missing. It was like you said, so sterile and boring, and Senate meetings and all this stuff. And I think we got to give someone who's needs a shot. I think Spielberg, he's not good with sequels. Lost World didn't work. I would rather him see the one he can do is Indiana Jones, and I'd rather him focus on that than get lost in this galaxy. And also, he's coming off Saving Private Ryan. Like, I want to see him make more movies like that. He's an amazing dramatic director. I don't want to get him stuck in this. I think there's other people who can do it. The Wachowskis, I just think it's too early. Can they really sustain that? I don't know. If we put them in a space universe, could they go even crazier? Do we know enough about them, and have we seen enough? They have 2 movies that we can base it on, and I just think for Star Wars, you need big, you need epic, and you need to throw someone out there who can take some risks and chances.
Yeah,
Right,
risks and
guys?
chances. So you need to do a complete 180 before this thing totally sours. I still love Star Wars more than The Matrix. I want to pull these guys away from this to rescue one of my favorite franchises.
Don't you want to see him do more Matrix?
Yeah,
they
we wanna see
created
more
it.
Matrix.
I want to see more of that. Why take him off to do this?
It's too late. I mean, we need to save this thing. This is a sinking ship, and this is
We don't
need
know
to,
that.
We don't know that.
don't know that.
Darth Maul was
Here's the problem
amazing.
with-
Duel of
yeah.
the Fates, that song was amazing. There was some really
if
good.
they get the casting right on Anakin, because that's the important
just needs
thing.
better
The thing is,
direction.
we still have George Lucas's script to work with, so neither of your guys.
I
can
don't know who's who's writing it. I'm hoping they bring in Kazan again or somebody to help, like they did with Empire.
He's already written it, so we're stuck with his philosophical wanking garbage. So the Wachowskis are gonna, in their hands, they can make something interesting.
How do you
visually.
know that in their hands they can't? They're gonna
Because
make
they did it with the Matrix.
Yeah, I just don't know if we can trust that.
They combined the deep philosophy and the kung fu kind of pop action.
I don't know.
They're gonna add their own weird flying elves or things. We don't know where they're gonna go with it.
Here's the thing: is the Wachowskis, number one, I want to see more Matrix movies, so you can't pull them off the Matrix. Number two, it's too much too soon. Yes, they made one great movie, but you don't want to give them Star Wars. How dumb would it be for a director to make one huge blockbuster movie and for someone to give them the helm of a Star Wars movie? That would be idiotic.
So dumb.
You can't do that.
Never
Or like
happened.
even if they did an indie movie beforehand. Or
So
something.
I can't.
Never.
So
Still
you can't do it to the Wachowskis. Let them play in their own sandbox for a little bit. Michael Bay. The problem with the Phantom Menace was that it was too much mindless action. Here's the thing about Steven Spielberg. He's the only other.
The Trade Federation was the problem with the Phantom Menace.
The best part of that movie was the action.
No, but there was no heart and soul behind it, and I don't really see Michael Bay putting any heart and soul behind something like this.
Dude,
Yeah, he does good action movies.
When Ben Affleck's got to leave Bruce Willis there on the asteroid, and we're waiting to see is he going to survive, he actually did pull some. And my audience was tearing up like crazy. Now, granted, it's kind of a dumb big popcorn movie, but I think he didn't write it. Like he's got to get better material to work with. The Rock, really fun. Those characters are awesome. Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, Ed Harris. I mean, he's worked. I mean, come on, Bad Boys with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. Those are two great performances. Granted, it's more of a comedy.
They're different kind of movie.
Here's why
You can't knock Michael Bay. He's shown amazing promise.
You can see the seeds of something real bad in there. He never focuses on dialogue.
3 for 3. He's made 3 for 3.
Here's why we need Steven Spielberg.
3 for 3, 1 for 1.
Steven Spielberg is the only other person that George Lucas respects and who actually get him to listen to him and actually get him to adjust things. Michael Bay,
that's a stab in the back if you give it to Spielberg. That's his rival. That's just like giving it to your ex-wife.
That's not his rival.
They're nice on the surface.
They're absolutely not rivals.
They are definitely
Michael Bay,
rivals.
I hear, is a crazy person. I hear no way that is he gonna let George
Speculation.
Lucas.
He shoots all the Victoria's Secret catalogs. He's probably going to cast them in the whole thing. Like
His
he's just doing it to
not
get
right.
you know.
Spielberg knows the epic scale.
they can act.
He can get the look right. He can actually collaborate with George Lucas instead of George just having free reign.
I don't know,
I'm telling
man.
you, a Spielberg-directed Star Wars movie
I just
would be a great
worry
thing.
George Lucas will just carry on and take over, and they'll be swinging with monkeys.
We cannot take a risk here because if this second movie doesn't work, then this whole trilogy is
You
sunk,
guys are
and
all
that would
so
be a
against
disaster.
risk. It's 1999. It's a new millennium.
I'm
Let's
doing
give
risk.
the kids
How
a
is mine
chance.
not a risk? Mine's
Yours is
still a risk.
Yours is established old
He
man.
hasn't done drama yet. He hasn't done drama yet. I want to see him
give these kids a
tackle
chance.
that.
We're going to just
Exactly.
be
Come on,
it's
admit it.
going to be the
You're not
same
curious to
franchises
see-
and existing properties
Look,
over and over again if we don't give new
James
people
Cameron
a chance.
pulled off Titanic, won all those Oscars. You don't think Michael Bay could pull that off with Pearl Harbor? I mean, let's give him some faith. It
Well,
could
let's-
totally go that way, and it
let's
could
see-
win all the Oscars, and you guys are gonna be like, "Holy crap! Who would have thought
Then
Michael
let's
Bay is
see-
now new James Cameron?"
Then let's see Pearl Harbor, and then maybe Michael Bay can get episode 3. Right now, I'm playing
Well,
it
the
safe.
fact that he's already making
Spielberg.
it proves to me that someone has faith in him, and that we should give it to him to do this.
You give it to the
Alrighty.
new generation.
Dang, my 18-year-old ears are hurting after that. Ken Napzok.
First of all, philosophical wankery is now a pass or fail course at UC Davis.
Majored in it.
Yeah, you can sign up for that. Let's not forget the Return of the Jedi, which was only 16 years ago by your timeline. Lucas wanted Spielberg to direct it. Guild issues kept him from maybe doing that, is the rumor. Regarding Michael Bay, Andy, all I can say is that you are going to be saying his name a lot in the future.
See?
A lot.
Wow.
Yes.
You can tell.
Other than that,
he's good.
You guys are good.
So, Ken, I'm kind of deciding between Michael Bay and Steven Spielberg.
Oh.
Who would you go for being a Star Wars fan?
Based on the arguments.
Based on the argument.
Yeah, based on the argument.
On the arguments
Sorry, Spencer.
and trying to disconnect from what I know happens, I think there was a bigger case made for Michael Bay at the time.
I know. I can't believe I'm agreeing with this.
Are you kidding me? I'm telling you guys, mark my
guy
words.
from The Rock?
We will
He
all
gets
be
the
talking
point.
about Michael Bay. That guy's got some serious potential.
All right.
Big mistake.
Spencer with 1 point, Dan with 2, Andy with 2.
Whoa.
Look out.
Ooh, on to round 6. In case you haven't heard, because of a flaw in the way programmers have been coding the date, the changeover from 1999 to 2000 is going to basically break every computer in the world. This may be our very last episode of Movie Fight. We don't know.
Well, why? We're not on
Everything's
a
going
computer.
down.
Why would we be?
Isn't this on AOL?
Well, planes are going to fall on this guy, dude. It's going to be, it'll be
I
done.
mean, it's all going to go, everything, boom, explosions. You can't control the nuclear plant.
It's really fascinating
it's all
about what
connected.
might happen. So round 6 is
Wall
pitch
Street's going to close, right?
everything.
The stock market.
Everything's a disaster. Your phone won't work. So pitch a movie about the impending Y2K disaster. Andy, starting with you.
Look, I think something big is going to happen. I mean, obviously, the hype has to be amount to something. I mean, there's going to be something that's going to, I think, we're going to have to adjust, whether it's the stock market or something's going to screw us up. But I don't think it's going to be as crazy as people shooting people on the streets like a zombie apocalypse. So I want to try and think of something more fun. And so I'm going with one of the biggest movies I think of the year, which I want to see more of, is American Pie. I want to go American Pie 2, Jason Biggs.
American Pie 2K?
Yeah, I was getting there.
Pie 2K.
American Pie 2K. Now here's the problem: he never got to the pie effer. Jason Biggs never got to sleep with Nadia, right? So here's the problem: he thinks he finally got this chance because now this internet thing's starting to take over, and he's getting to talk to her, and he's about to get action, but the internet goes out, and he thinks the world's going to end, everything's going to go down. So he teams up with Stifler, the whole crew, and they go on a road trip. And I think what we do is we turn American Pie 2 into a really funny, raunchy sort of road trip movie, which I think we haven't done in a really long time. Maybe you throw like Tom Green in it. I really love him from MTV.
Right.
Hilarious.
And you just go on this like awesome road trip. Comedy style, and he's got to go get her because the world's ending, and he's got to try and get laid before he thinks he has a shot with Nadia. And I think there's enough of a genre ideas there.
So where is Nadia that he's going
He's
to?
got, I don't know, somewhere across the country, right? They got to get in the car and do it because the planes are down. He's got to do it. You got to get through like a planes, trains, and automobile separate. Can he go get there to get laid? And I think it would be really fun to watch those characters again and put them at a school and into a different place. I think if we're going to do a sequel for that, we need to see them in a new genre, and that's what I'm picking.
Alrighty. So
But yes, stole my title, American Pie 2K.
American Pie 2K. Dan, what have you got?
I don't know what that has to do with Y2K, but okay. Mine is
Amidst the Y2K.
Oh, okay.
It could be called Power
We don't know
Outage.
how it's going to end.
American
Do you
Pie-
know how it's going to end? Do you tell the
I
future?
have my theory here. It's called Y2K, and it's directed by the guy that you are advocating for, and that would do good in something like this, Mr. Michael Bay, because
You just shat on him.
I shat on him for Star Wars, not for these big, modern action movies. Michael Bay is the greatest modern action director, not fantasy, action, big action director working today. So, it's called Y2K. All the world's computers shut down at midnight on New Year's Eve, but it turns out it's the corrupt government officials who are trying to stage a coup and take over. So, Bruce Willis, who needs to get back into this action genre, I love when he's an action star.
Like a whole pitch. He just wrote a whole pitch on this. It's really funny.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what mine.
Thank you for interrupting me for that, Andy. I appreciate that. Bruce Willis has to stop him. He's
I tuned
storming.
out 7 questions ago.
He's storming through Washington, D.C., and as his sidekick, I want to take a gamble on this guy. He's very charismatic, this guy from the WWF, The Rock, as his sidekick. It could be a total disaster, but I want to see...
Stone Cold's so much better.
No, I think this guy, The Rock, has got something. It could be totally wrong, but it's Y2K. It's a big budget, storming through
Is it
Washington
called
movie.
Y2K?
It's called Y2K.
Okay.
It's Bruce Willis trying to save the government from these people that have completely shut everything down in an attempt to stage a coup.
All right, Spencer.
Well, you guys both went with big action, and I think that's really kind of insensitive, making light of what could be the biggest disaster of the last 50 years easily. Like, this is not something to be joked about and to be turned into some popcorn movie. So, this is 1999, so I'm going to go with, like, what we've proven so far are, like, the big issues of our time in Office Space, in Fight Club, in American Beauty. The problem is white men who have comfortable jobs and homes being dissatisfied with their wives and families. So this is this is Mel Gibson in an Oscar movie, which he hasn't had the chance to do yet. So he's got a comfortable job. He has a internet startup, plants.com. He did just work at a nursery, and his passion is botany. But then he started plants.com, and he's not happy in his job, even though he's a millionaire and everything like that. So finally, Y2K hits, and it's just a character study. It's this man slowly rebuilding society and breaking off from his family and his shrewish wife so he can just raise plants and find some purpose in life that he had lost from society and consumerism and all these things that are the biggest problems of 1999, because that's what we have to worry about. A new millennium.
A new millennium.
That sounds so boring.
I fell asleep during your pitch.
The plants?
It's serious.
Off
You
we
got
go.
We got the plants.com. Is that the bad guy? That sounds awful.
No, that's that. I mean, pets.com just sold for $1 billion.
I don't know. I want to see a movie where like plants are.
This is an Oscar movie. This isn't a big dumb action movie.
You didn't excite me at all.
A movie about the web?
About
Who would
the
watch
guy,
that?
the website
Yeah.
is going to
Oscar
crash.
movies.
He's a big white guy who wants
Yeah.
to cheat on his wife. Like, who cares?
Did you see American Beauty?
Yeah, but I don't need to see it
Yeah,
again.
it's about
with
a
Mel
guy
Gibson.
staring at a paper bag.
Yeah,
I mean,
we just saw it. Why do I want to see it again? What the hell does that have to do with Y2K?
It was the best movie right now, and it won't get worse as time goes on.
That
There's
made no sense.
way that
I will admit yours sounds way better than his because I'm just even shrugging that off. That said, The Rock? What, really? You think he's going to be a movie
got
star?
he's
charisma.
great on the WWF.
I mean,
got
come
charisma.
on.
He's
I don't
great
want to
on
see a
WWF.
wrestler in a movie. That
sure you
sounds
do.
so silly.
They live.
Yeah,
no,
that's happened before.
Name me some more.
He's not the star. He's the sidekick.
Is he playing a wrestler?
No, he's playing.
Okay,
I'm telling
that's
you,
a
this
little
guy's
silly.
got charisma. I'm telling you, this guy's got charisma. And Michael Bay's movies are always a little silly.
No.
That's what makes
come
them
on.
fun. Astronauts just flying to an asteroid to oil drill. Like, that's silly. I'm telling you, this is. Like, I realize what you're saying. Like, oh, don't make fun of Y2K. We've always done
this.
this.
Is the definition of too
Oh,
soon.
but there are really asteroids out there. Don't make fun of it hitting the Earth.
No,
Come
this
on.
is like
I
this is
think-
like
what
making
if-
I don't even want to say it. Go ahead, you guys.
Well, what if it's not a disaster, right? Then mine's way more fun because it's all this, shit.
But it doesn't have anything to do with Y2K. It's just
Yes,
it's
the
just
electricity,
American Pie
everything
2.
goes down, and
Yeah,
everyone's going to have to be off their computers
It's
and
American
TVs.
Pie 2 with a pun.
Yeah,
you
but
can-
that sounds fun, and I don't believe you don't want to see that. You're just saying that because you're fighting. It
No.
sounds funny, and I want to see the American Pie crew on a road trip, and the power going out, and all this emergency
But you
drama.
can replace
Accuse it.
Y2K with any power outage.
Yeah.
Mine is like the real metaphorical symbolism of this new millennium and growth and how we're going to need to get away from technology after
think
2000 and go back to the land.
Yours is not going to work because it's going to prove to be not that big of a deal. I mean, come on. And then
But the way that we make fun of our impending
what
disasters
actions
is by
coming from
having fun
computers
with
shutting
them.
down is what my point
No,
is.
that it's the consequences of those.
Of
it's
what?
the fact that the computers are shut down and that there's people trying to take over the government, and the only person standing in their way is Bruce Willis. It's a great
It's not the
Michael Bay
consequences on
action
the
movie.
government, it's the consequences on our souls
Oh,
as
come
human
on.
beings.
Oh, God. All right, I'm calling it. Future Ken.
Guys, regarding Y2K,
I mean, clearly it wasn't a big deal because you got some sort of device there.
Yeah, do not worry about it. I'm
working.
still trying to get rid of my supply of beans and portable toilets. Do not stock
Okay,
up.
good.
You're
So
good
it's
to
not
go.
a big deal. Okay.
No. Andy, they did end up making a second American Pie in 2001, and you will be wishing that the world would have ended anyways. The breakout star of the WWF roster in 1999,
X-Pac.
X-Pac might end up being Chris Jericho, who goes on to star in a web series with a guy you'll all come to know named Nick Mundy.
I'm telling
Never
you,
heard
this
of him.
guy, The Rock, keep
Looking
an eye
for it.
on him. He's got great charisma.
But other
Yeah.
than that, you guys surprisingly clean with your dates.
Oh, nice work. Okay, well, out of these three, I mean, I don't really want to see a movie about plants.
It's 1999.
Continue.
We're gonna have plenty
1999.
of
I still don't want to
time.
see a movie about plants.
Plants and the
Spencer,
internet.
Mel Gibson's gonna have a long film
I
career. We're gonna have
know.
plenty of time to see him.
He'll
in
be
all
doing
kinds
so
of
many
movies.
Oscar
And
movies.
white guys being annoyed at their wives.
Yeah, that's the problems of our time. There's no wars going on. This is our Great Depression, is our lives. You saw Fight Club. I've seen it a million times.
The one that I really want to see, and not just because of the title, is American
Oh,
Pie
come on.
2K. And he gets the point. Oh, it sounds really funny.
Really
And I
funny,
can
right?
imagine
Tom
them
Green, I think, is going to be a huge comedy star.
on
You put
the
him in that
way,
crew.
like-
Bum is on the calendar.
You have some very
Okay.
specific pitches.
I might know how to play the game.
That pitch
I
might
think
have.
you know how to cheat.
I might have gotten the sports
and not
almanac.
make it as fun.
It might be a movie in the future.
I love that
don't
even in
know.
our fun one, he's still a grump.
Some things never change.
All right, so that means
This is my prequel, Andy. This is where it all came from.
he's still
It
passionate.
came from
that
you.
prequel soured us
It
all.
came from you pissing me off on this episode of Movie Fights.
Stop, no more drinking.
All right, so that means Dan and Andy are through to the speed
Oh.
round. Spencer, thank you so much for playing.
It's fine. I have to study for midterms. It's all good. I have better things to do right now. Listen to Papa Roach and skateboard.
I have a feeling you're going to be doing some great stuff in the future, so keep at it. Keep at those studies. They're going to be really worthwhile.
Thanks.
You're gonna really
Will you go to
use
prom
them.
with me?
Sure.
All right,
Let's
cool.
do it.
Wow, good for you, man.
Good
Woo.
job.
Okay, so now you got to help me with speed round.
Got it.
You guys know how speed round works. I'm going to throw a question at you. You've got to do it fast. Ken, in the future, you have to
Yep.
time for me. So get that
Ooh, what is
stopwatch
that?
ready.
Well, luckily, this device I
that a
have
clock?
has a stopwatch
What?
and a radio on this.
How did they fit them in this?
Who makes that?
Where's the keyboard?
Macintosh computers.
Oh, really?
Stock in Apple.
All right,
Okay.
Yeah,
let's
sure.
kick things off. These two movies are playing at a theater. Which do you watch? Being John Malkovich or Fight Club?
Being John Malkovich.
Fight Club.
Okay, Being John Malkovich first.
Being John Malkovich, Spike Jonze, I think, is weird. It just brings you stuff you've never seen before, and I think it's a more dramatic, Oscar-worthy. Fight Club is I think, a little too mean towards women, and Being John Malkovich is really artistic and a new creative direction that I want to see more of, and something you've never seen before.
I don't think Fight Club is mean towards women. Plus, it's a great movie experience. You can watch it more than once and catch a new thing every time that you see it. I won't spoil it for people that want to tell their friends or whatever. Being John Malkovich is a good movie, but it's a little too cerebral. It's not for everybody. It gets a little weird in parts. Fight Club is a much more enjoyable experience and rewatchable.
Yours gets very cerebral, and I do think it's very macho, and man, and I think Malkovich actually is going to be the bigger thing to watch.
I disagree. I think Fight Club over time will stand the test of time as one of the best movies of this year. I think Malkovich, it's a little bit of a niche film.
Ooh, Spencer, what are you thinking basing on the arguments?
Well, taking my personal bias out of it, because in 1999, Fight Club is just the be-all, end-all. I don't think stuff you've never seen holds as much weight, because I saw stuff I'd never seen in Fight Club before. David Fincher really brought it, that movie. And the twist, is
Yes.
something I'd never seen.
Yeah, I like how you said that you do see things every time. I don't think Fight Club is too macho, because I really enjoyed it. Being John Malkovich is very niche, so I'm going to go with Fight Club.
Damn it. I meant to pick the other one.
All right. Which performance was the best in Magnolia?
Tom Cruise.
William H. Macy.
Okay, Tom Cruise first.
Tom Cruise really went against what we see as Tom Cruise. It was the first time we got to see him be explicit and raunchy and dramatic. And I mean, that's how I was just blown away. Not since Born the 4th of July. He's in a lot of action and big movies, but amazing range that just blew me away. And I think that's what's going to get Oscar talk and things.
Tom Cruise was 50% Tom Cruise playing his guy, and then like one good scene with Jason Robards. William H. Macy, we knew he was great in Fargo, and again, he keeps getting looked over because he so inhabits these characters. He's not going to get the Oscar buzz, but he's the best performance in the movie. This just sad, pathetic man.
Totally disagree. Fargo way better. William H. Macy is good. Tom Cruise transcended and blew us away because we're so used to seeing something, and to be able to make you not think Tom Cruise is bigger.
Tom Cruise had the flashier role. William H. Macy had the better role and the better performance.
All right, I think I'm going Tom Cruise. What do you say?
Gotta agree. William H. Macy's always sad and pathetic. Not in life,
right.
just in his roles.
Tom Cruise, and he gets the point. It is 4-3 right now. Next one. With the surprise success of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, what would be the dream property in 1999 to give to Guy Ritchie?
James Bond.
Okay, James Bond.
I think we could make a good X-Men movie.
All right, James Bond first.
Well, first of all, Bryan Singer's already working on an X-Men movie. It's coming out next summer. Secondly, I think that Pierce Brosnan is getting a little long in the tooth. We need to come up with a radical new way for James Bond, and it needs a new tone. I think James Bond will work if you give it a new tone. Guy Ritchie will give it that kinetic energy that it needs. It's getting a little too stale.
All right.
James Bond needs to be a little silly. I want him with women and cars, and I think that's not the right route for Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie needs, I want to see expand into a bigger action, funner little thing, supernatural. I think X-Men, Bryan Singer, he's a little too, doesn't have the fun that Guy Ritchie would have, and I think he could take these new characters in fun, new, exciting ways.
When James Bond gets silly, it dies. That's what happened to Roger Moore. And I think Bryan Singer, he's a great indie director. I'd like to see that flavor to a
No, indie Bond's not going to work. That's too risky. Too much to ask for and too soon. I think you need to scale it down and make it more grounded.
Do I get another 5 seconds?
Nope.
Wait, did he not get an extra 5 seconds?
5. Oh.
Yeah.
We
5
did?
seconds,
Right?
buddy.
I did
He took an
5.
extra 5 seconds.
No, that was my 5.
That was his.
Okay.
5-5. That
Right?
was all right. Future
Yeah,
Ken?
yeah. No,
All right.
no.
I get so
Okay.
wrapped up. I get so wrapped up in these
All right,
arguments.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was trying to focus on the arguments. Good arguments there. Spencer, what are you thinking?
I don't know. It kind of became a referendum on Bryan Singer, who I'm just excited to see the X-Men on screen. We need some more comic book movies.
All right, Future Ken,
That's
just
not based on
the
anyone's
arguments.
argument.
I didn't have an opinion either way.
Based on the arguments, I'm not sure I want to see my James Bond on dark and moody yet. I'm going to go with Andy on this.
Big mistake.
Not ready there yet.
Big
Too
mistake.
soon.
I'm telling you.
Too soon.
It is heading toward disaster.
All right.
I agree. Tone it down a little bit, but we don't want to go that crazy.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to overturn that. I want to see Guy Ritchie, James Bond. Dan gets the point.
Ooh,
She's allowed.
I'm exercising this, which I think will be a good movie in the future. All right. Best animated movie of the year. South Park, Iron Giant, or Toy Story 2.
South Park.
All right, go Andy.
South Park's really funny and smart and all those things, but Toy Story 2 was a sequel that took the characters in an exciting, new, emotional direction that showed the existence of what do you do with your toys? I'm afraid to put my toys away now. It made me cry. It made me laugh. South Park made me laugh, but Toy Story made me do more.
Toy Story was another fun adventure with Woody and the gang. South Park was one of the most incisive commentaries on today's society and culture, and the fact that they could do that without talking down to people, and the fact that it was still entertaining and funny and had all the South Park jokes that you love, that was an amazing achievement for those guys to pull it off.
They do it week to week. I think they'll still do it. Toy Story 2 is amazing that they could make those adventures even stronger, more emotional, and a bigger impact for kids and for adults.
They don't do it week to week. Currently, South Park is more of a potty humor kids show on television, and I think maybe social commentary will become a bigger part of their show later.
All right.
I don't know.
I think I'm going with Toy Story 2. Spencer, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like the commentary and the emotional thing cancel each other out. What I wanted to hear was it's a musical. I mean, I thought that would put it over the top, but those two were even, and I wanted to hear a little more on South Park.
All right, Ken?
I agree with that too.
All right, that means Toy Story, and he gets the point. That is 5-4.
All right. I need this one, right?
Yeah.
Yep, you need this one.
Oh my God, I might win on the fake show.
Inspired by Never Been Kissed, what is the best movie featuring Drew
E.T.
Barrymore?
Wait.
Featuring what?
You said E.T. before
Never
she
been
even
kissed.
said Drew
Never been
Barrymore.
kissed. I assumed it.
Wait.
I assumed it when she said E.T.
I didn't even hear the question.
She said never been inspired by Never Been
Best
Kissed.
movie featuring Drew
I took a
Barrymore.
gamble.
The fact that this question was in some kind of a correspondence that we shared earlier today
That
didn't
you
have
were on
anything
as well?
to do with that. I was waiting my turn like you should on this game.
That's not
There
at
you
all
go.
what I did.
Well,
But we were
Dan.
both on that correspondence, and I heard Never Been Kissed.
You have to choose one.
All right, fine.
What are you gonna go with?
Since I can't say E.T.,
Yeah.
let me think.
Sorry.
Drew Barrymore. JTE likes it.
By the way,
I can't believe how grumpy he's getting on this silly fake show.
We cheated, but that's
I
fine.
did not cheat.
we put the title on the line, right?
Yeah, oh, God. I would be flipping tables right now if the title was on the line.
I did not cheat.
Sure. Okay.
I heard
That's
Never
fine.
Been Kissed.
I apologize for...
I think the rules are a little more
apologize
relaxed
for,
on this episode than
Yeah.
normal.
I apologize for accusing you of cheating.
It's 1999. This isn't like a formula yet.
Pick
No,
one.
we don't know what we're doing, Dan.
In 5, 4, 3,
Ever after.
2. Ever After. Okay, E.T. go first.
1999?
Oh yeah, factory.
I had to think. I'm sorry. I was... Okay.
I'll start E.T. and maybe he can pick again. That's totally fair. E.T. I mean, come on, this girl came out of nowhere and the most adorable, I think, best kid performance ever in one of Steven Spielberg's most amazing films ever that transcends kids' movies, adults, and I think will define blockbuster movies moving forward. You can't deny it. That's what she's always gonna be known for, no matter what she does. It's an iconic performance, and we can't forget it.
Drew Barrymore was a very minor part of E.T. Yes, it's a good movie, but Ever After is something that it's a Cinderella story. It's for young girls. The fact that people knew her as the girl from E.T. Ever After was kind of her emergence as an adult actress, and the people are starting to take her seriously again. And she's not just a little girl from E.T. because she did so well in that movie.
Wedding Singer, much better example. That one's a very formulaic, boring movie. It gives an adult performance in 18. I think it's unfair to qualify her as a child supporting character.
I'm just saying, like, I'm going to go heavier on what featured Drew Barrymore better, and Ever After is a much better feature of her than E.T. She's not that good in the movie anyway.
Alrighty. Spencer, what do you think?
I'm kind of leaning Dan on that. I think he clutched it out.
I like the emergence as an adult actress.
Yeah.
What about you, Ken?
Yeah, I think Dan just came from behind to make a compelling argument against the juggernaut of a film.
Yeah.
I'm going with Dan here.
I did not expect to choose Ever After over 18,
I
but
didn't
I
expect
am.
him to choose it either.
Dan gets the point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Wedding
5.
Singer.
Tiebreaker.
The fact that I pulled that should have been the clutch.
Tiebreaker time.
Oh, shit.
He's always grumpy. He always wins. It's like his secret.
That's how
like
I
his-
win. I'm like
it's
the
his
Hulk.
secret power.
My anger gives me power.
All right.
I hope you do win.
You have to buy one of these Rob Schneider movies from the bargain bin.
On VHS?
Demolition Man.
Yeah, is this on VHS?
So on VHS, Juice Bigelow, Male Gigolo, Big Daddy, or Muppets from Space?
Big Daddy.
No. Muppets from Space.
Okay, Andy, go.
Big Daddy actually was a return, I think, was one of Sandler's best. Really funny. Muppets from Space was embarrassing. They're going in these weird, terrible directions. He's hardly in the movie. He has an amazing role. The Just Do It and all those things he does in all these movies are amazing. Scheidner kills it in Big Daddy.
He played the You Can Do It guy in Waterboy, but I don't think he did that in Big Daddy, did he? Or he's done it in so many Adam Sandler movies. Regardless, Muppets in Space, at least it's the Muppets. Big Daddy, they're peeing against the wall. It's not even close to the best Adam Sandler comedies. I hope he gets better and not worse. I'm going to go with the Muppets. It's fun. It's for kids. I'm going Muppets in Space.
He does so much in Big Daddy, and you can't even name what he does in Muppets in Space because there are a million people that do nothing in that movie, and it's their worst movie yet.
Well, you misnamed what he did in Big Daddy. I'm just saying if I'm choosing between a mediocre Adam Sandler comedy and the Muppets, which are always fun, I'm going Muppets.
Not mediocre. It's a funny movie.
All right.
I spoke again if you want to speak
Yeah,
again.
do you want to have another little...
That's okay.
Okay. Both pretty terrible
What
arguments.
a terrible way to go out. Cheers.
I thought You Can Do It's from Little Nicky.
He's been doing it in every movie.
I don't know.
I thought that was from Waterboy, wasn't it?
I think both. It's made a
He
few.
says it in every movie.
I can tell you
Who
guys.
says?
Tell you guys though, the best Adam Sandler comedy is Happy Gilmore, and it does hold up as
Hell yeah.
explained
Oh,
in
nice.
2015.
I mean, yeah, it's not that
All
old.
right. What would you go, Spencer? Who would
They were
you
both
choose?
such crap arguments,
They
but
were
I
both
guess,
really
I
bad.
guess I gotta go Andy just because he talked more about Rob Schneider's role in the movie.
Comes down to Schneider.
I think this
I love it.
comes down to Schneider. Ken?
I am. Oh, that was really tough. I kind of think it comes down to the Muppet movie. I side with Dan.
All right, split vote. So that's means it's up to me.
This comes down to Rob Schneider.
It comes down to Rob Schneider.
What could be more 1999 than this game coming down to Rob Schneider?
All right. I'm going to choose Big Daddy.
Oh!
Andy gets the point. Andy wins.
I did not see that coming.
Because you didn't say who he played in Muppets from
I don't know
Space.
anything about Muppets in Space.
Andy Signore, the big
King of 1999.
Damn,
You know what?
Andy.
I'm going to take this championship and maybe I'll help build a channel
Yeah.
called Screen Junkies.
But
What do
someday
you say,
I will-
guys? Will you
someday
join
I will
me?
take
I
it from
say
you.
save tonight, fight the break of dawn.
Tonight, tomorrow
I'll be gone.
Yeah, I think, Andy, you might be so good that one day you could be in this chair. You could
That would be
take
an honor,
over from
Alicia.
me.
That would be an
Yeah.
honor.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much. Let's go down the line. Where can people find you?
Current
the
in high school,
futuristic-
North Little Rock High School. I'm driving around in my white Honda Accord. In the future, maybe at Murrell Dan on something called Twitter.
Yeah, wow. What about you, Spencer? Where
Spencer
are
J.
you right
Gilbert,
now?
hit me up on AIM, Big Spenny G, Ultima Online, really just any online forum about movies or TV.
Yeah, 1999. I was crushing it on AOL back then. Yeah.
Yeah. What
Hit
was
me,
your name?
instant message me. Check out go in the member directory. Look up my profile. That's how my wife found me later in the future. I know.
That's amazing.
Friendster.
Friends, MySpace? No, I don't think so.
Ken? Future Ken.
You can follow me on Friendster, MySpace, LinkedIn if you want some business opportunities. I'm on there as well.
Invest in LinkedIn.
Yeah,
Okay.
LinkedIn. At Ken Napzok across the board. This has been surreal and fun.
This has been crazy. I am princessleash@hotmail.com.
They need to tell us in the comments too. I think if
For
we
real,
want to
yes.
go back in the future again or
Other
in the
years,
past.
maybe.
Is there another
Yeah.
year you'd like to see a movie
Let
fight
us know
lost?
what you thought on YouTube and what you'd like to see next time. If there is another year you'd like us to travel to, let us know. Don't forget to
we could do an
subscribe.
apology video for this.
Hashtag the dumps.
They'll either be in on the joke and enjoy this, or they will
They
hate
will
it.
not.
Probably the latter. I apologize,
You can
guys.
subscribe to the
needed a break.
iTunes feed and that audio podcast on iTunes. So rate and review us as well. And we have a t-shirt store at the Futuristic
Wow.
District Lines. Tons of fun Screen Junkies designs.
It's like Pacific Sunwear, but
Check out
on
the
your
link
computer.
below. Sure is. And
Hey, you want to go to Suncoast with me after this?
Oh, damn. Sam Goody, maybe?
send your hate mail to Alicia Malone in Canberra, Australia. Thank you all so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Sam
2000,
Goody,
here we
wall-to-wall
come.
sound and video.
Every podcast we put on YouTube comes with this kick-ass graphic listing all the topics your favorite Screen Junkies podcasters are talking about. If you click the topics, you can skip around and choose your own podcast battle royale. Go ahead, try them all. If you haven't already, subscribe to Screen Junkies on YouTube to join us for future fights. Or if you prefer to listen on iTunes, click the logo to download an audio version.